Baby, we live. It's Graph Champs, Season 4, Episode 5, baby. You heard we got Plasma Slug in the building. Let's go, baby, let's go. Tell a friend to tell a friend, let's get it, kid.
Diablo, SR the General, full blast the beat, God. Graph, chant, yeah, graph, chant, graph.
Salute Reeves, I see you, my brother. Paul Ski, my nigga Crow, I see you, my brother. The Verrazano Bandit, I see you. Graph Champs, baby, yo, salute Jim's, Big Jim's KAC, boy.
Welcome, tune in to Graph Champs.
Get alive.
Appreciate the love and support for all the Graph Champs. The most amazing and iconic artists out here, smashing it from the train yards to the rooftops to the storefronts, highways, catching wreck. SR the General, he be going crazy, bro, from his Instagram account, Supreme Clientele Radio. Interviewing all the icons, the ones that led the way. Salute to all the fallen legends, the ones that set the stage. Moment of silence, let us remember those. Peace. Whether they family or they were friend or foe. Hate them or love them, let's show them some respect. Major contribution in hip-hop, Graph Champs to the death.
Shit alive, baby.
Ready and willing, never scared to fry. Never.
Salute.
Chance in the art to getting up, prepared to rise. Super talented vandals, never scared to die.
Salute hype.
Let's show 'em love while they breathing. Go ahead and share the life.
BCS, you heard?
So tell a friend to go and tell a friend. Interviews are dope from the start up to the end. Let's show him love and call it glory time. Repost his post on your post, share his post up on your storyline.
Shit alive,
So
shit
tell a friend
alive.
to go and tell a friend. Interviews are dope from the start up to the end. Let's show him love and call it glory time. Repost his post on your post, share his post up on your storyline. That's all the God General, Graph Champs.
Shit alive, baby,
Full
shit
blast
alive,
music,
shit alive.
the beat God. Straight 16, straight
Let's go, let's go.
4-5 to God.
Yo, salute to everybody, boy. We got the Plasmatic Slug in the building today, you know what I'm saying? Queens, Brooklyn, New York, stand the fuck up, you know what I mean? Salute Coley, I see you. Free my brother Send, you heard? Y'all want to say rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers. I want to give a shout out to everybody that supports Graph Champs. Please share the live. We got to get these numbers up for my brother Plasma Slug, you heard? This kid right here. Yeah, salute Uptown. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I see KGB DFA in the building. Salute. All right, I see Plasma Slug jumped on and shit. I'm gonna send you the invite in 1 second, Slug. I just gotta say my little intros and shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to yo, salute Hawkeye. I see you, my brother. I want to say salute to my Straight 16 family, bro. Tomorrow there's a block party in Bushwick in front of the Emerald Dispensary on Saddam Street. And they have Uncle Murder performing and Tony Yayo, and my Straight 16 family is there. They're gonna rip the stage down. I guarantee you they're gonna kill everything over there. You know what I'm saying? So please go follow Straight 16 if you could. Share the live, you know what I'm saying? Support. Yo, and we have all the past shows of Graph Champs, bro. The link is in the bio. All you gotta do is press the link in the bio of Graph Champs. It'll go right to the YouTube page and it'll give you all the videos from the first show all the way to the most current one, all in a row, bro. Everything from Easy to Josh 5 to Dual Wrist Mob to Ket to Scuff to whoever you want to see. You know what I mean? Salute, Stevie. I see you. Thank you for always supporting. You know what I mean? So please go back to those past interviews. We got Niso Dreads, we got Sev, we got Feck TFV, we got so many people, you know what I'm saying? Rhino, Joust, Astro, Fogs, it just goes on and on and on, you know what I'm saying? So please support the platform, my niggas, and share this live, man. We need to get these numbers up. You heard? Share this live. Even though I know a lot of people go to the replay and watch it on the replay, we need to share this live, man. Come on, we need to get these numbers up for my brother Plasma Slug and shit. Even though I know as the interview's going on, the you know, it's gonna go up and shit. Salute my brother Damp BCS in the building. Salute to my brother ESF. Salute to Hype, he's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Just please share the live, guys. Share the live. All right, so right now I'm gonna pull up the man of the hour, Big Plasma Slug, Plasma in the graph and in the art. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be very interesting to hear his story. He's one of the few people that won me over as a fan, because I'm very opinionated. Once I don't like something, I don't like something, you know? What up, Slug? I sent you the, let me see, accept. I accept. Go live with Plasma Slug. Boom, I just pressed it again. We'll see what happens. And shit alive, everybody. Shit alive, you know what I'm saying? Shit alive. And shit. I'm trying to get you in, Sluggity. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Accept. Boom. Go live with Slug. I keep accepting it, but I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I'm gonna send you an invite. It's unable to join. Nah. Let me see. Turn on video. Hold up. I think he's about to pop on. Shit alive. We got Plasma Slug. This is Graph Champs. I'm your host, SR, the vertical, squirticle all over your girl's Liz nips. I left my kids on the eyelids, you know what I'm saying? Blah. While I try to get this nigga on, hold on, man. Hold on, because I can't have no dead air like that. While we try to get this nigga on, I'll put the theme song.
Diablo, SR the General, full blast the beat. Grab, chant, yeah, grab, chant, grab, chant, yeah, grab, chant. Shout out the Graph Champs. Shout out the Graph Champs. Shout out the Graph Champs. Shout out to Graph Champs. Welcome. Tune in to Graph Champs. We appreciate the love and support for all the Graph Champs. The most amazing and iconic artists out here, smashing it from the train yards to the rooftops to the storefronts, highways, catching wreck. That's all the General. He be going crazy, bro, from his Instagram account, Supreme Clientele Radio. Interviewing all the icons, the ones that led the way. Salute to all the fallen legends, the ones that set the stage. Moment of silence, let us remember those.
Yo, Slug, send me a request. P. Send me a request. Yo, salute, Jazz. Yo, thank you, Reese, for always, you know what I'm saying, supporting my nigga, for real. Word. Yo, Slug, send me a invite, Slug. Send me a request. Again. Let me see. Damn, yo. All right. I see that you sent me the invite. Boom. I accept right here again. I don't understand. Yo, salute, mister. I see you, KGK in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Oh shit.
Hey, what's good?
You see me?
I don't see you though.
I don't see you.
Does everyone else see you?
I don't know. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna check right now on my other. That's crazy.
I'm happy we got this far. I had a hard time joining your thing.
I don't know. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah. Well, on everybody else's Instagram, you could be seen and I could be seen. I just can't see you and you can't see me for some reason.
Much love, bro.
I don't care, but you can hear me loud and clear, right?
I can hear you, man. Can you hear me?
All right, so we're gonna do. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, Slug. Yo, before anything, bro, I gotta let you even say the reason why we want you on Graph Champs, bro. There's very few. I'm a very opinionated person when it comes to graph, especially, And once I don't like something, I don't like it. It's very hard to change my mind, you know? And sometimes you make snap judgments, especially when you think highly of yourself, or you feeling yourself at the time. You might be killing shit at a certain point, and you just look at everyone else like they can't fuck with me. So maybe I was at one of those points in my graph career that when I first started noticing your shit, I was like, yo, that shit is fucking whack. I'm just being 100. I'm just being 100 with you, Slug.
No, I'm not.
And then
I don't think you're far from a lot of people who are going to be watching this. Their first impressions when they saw it, or even now, you know, it's not too far off. Yo,
yeah, so that's how I felt. Like I was like, what the fuck is that? But then I started seeing little things here and there, nice spots. And then one time, bro, this is when you absolutely won me over. One time, I'm working in some place that's over there by Greenpoint, right in front of the water. And there's like a little building. The parking lot of the trucks, the whole truck lot is right there, right in front of the water. And then like maybe like 50 to 100 feet off the water, in the water, there's like another little house. And it looked like there used to be like a dock to walk to the house, but now it's gone. It's just like the house in the middle of the water. And you had a giant top to bottom filling on this fucking house that was in the middle of the water, right across the street from the parking lot where I was working at the time, bro. And that shit was just such an amazing, it was such an amazing spot. I was like, nah, this nigga's the man and shit. And then, as time goes by, I had the honor of meeting you and everything. But yo, bro, you never cease to amaze me with the 6 spots. And then when you jumped into the art, everything all around as a writer and as an artist, you fucking A1 sauce. You know what I'm saying? And to the whole Grab Champs world, I'm talking about Plasma Slug. You heard?
honestly, that was a lot to take in because I myself had my own version of like. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm not echoing.
Nah, you good.
Okay.
You good.
I myself have a huge beginning, middle, still going part of how I feel about everything. And I came into the game seeing your shit, seeing what you did, your energy, seeing your overall presence from a little kid's point of view. You know,
Wow.
my mom would take me to like Knickerbocker. We would walk down there different blocks every time. I would ask her to walk a different avenue so we could see different graph and whatnot. And the amount of work that you put in around that time was crucial because, looking back at it, it was the era. It was the time to be doing shit. So how you saw me at work, I mean, I saw you probably a decade before all that, as a kid. Not even able to reach the tags you were catching on top of the gates. Not even to comprehend how many people were rocking your crew in areas that after dark were like non-walkable, So you seeing that's cool. I do want to touch back on what you were saying before. I know you have a lot of cool questions. The amount of energy I ended up putting into everything resulted in a lot of people seeing it from all types of levels of humans, didn't matter what class level you are, any of that. Part of my work was always just spreading it out. And that was a big part of me, like getting on whatever houseboat you were talking about, because I don't remember myself, but like tons of that. I think that you hit it on the nail, and it's like maybe someone else had to see 2, 3 of those before it hit them that, like, wow, this guy is going against the grain for what it's worth. But I always make it a key point that if you see something like that, you're already in that area, you're already there, so like you're right there with it. So if you start seeing stuff that's all over, you're all over. You see something that's in a spot no one goes to, you're in the spot no one goes to. So it's key for the person who sees your work to be everywhere as well, so.
That's a fact, bro. And this is all a perfect segue. Your whole little intro into the first question is what got you into graph in the first place? What got you into graph?
I also want to say pardon the mask, bro, because I feel like I'm chilling with you. I would like to just, get all comfortable. And it's not so much my activeness or this that declares it. I just have a lot of young ones right now that I want to just be safe, But I'm sweating balls in here, so I'm going to work with you as best as I can. But thanks for having me again. And I'm fucking honored that I'm in the lineup of all the greats that you've had before me. And at times I would have a low self-confidence and be like, how am I there? Why am I there? But if I'm here right now and you're saying it, then like, thank you for the cosign, because that means everything. If I'm correct, you just asked what got me into graffiti.
Yeah, what got you into graffiti in the first place? Like, when did you first notice graffiti?
I grew up in the best place for graffiti, in my personal opinion, because there's graffiti all over the world, and everyone grows up to their own version of what they see and who they see. But I personally feel like I grew up in Ridgewood, Bushwick, right there, the borderline. And at one point, everybody had a nickname, and your nickname, at one point, you had a graffiti tag to go with it. And I seen Queens versus Brooklyn versus Queens. I seen people going down to buy weed from Queens to Brooklyn, putting them Cornelia, all these crazy weed spots, catching tags on the way there. And then all the Bushwick Brooklyn dudes would go up and they would go talk to all the white girls on Fresh Pond and all the Queens areas like that. They'd be going there for all the girls, tagging, ragging everyone on the back on the way back. I got to see like MTA, FTR. I got to see YKK, MBK. Got to see tons of like the Bed-Stuy people, Dorb, that dude Beth 3 at the time. You had a lot of neighborhood. It was like the movie Warriors. So even like what got me into graffiti was more that it was like the movie Warriors, where one school had a bunch of riders, and in Pacific, like you had the Bushwick riders and you had the Ridgewood riders, and they would always go against each other, or very rarely would anyone ever get along. If you did get along, you could go into that person's territory and get up a little bit. But it led me like surrounded in just a stadium of gladiators, all ages. Um, Tons of history was there before I even picked up a can. You had DG would just come through the neighborhood and stomp out these garages. If I can, you know, like an entrance to a garage fits a car. So he would do DG1 outline. So you can imagine how many car garages in a row he would do. And that would be on the way to junior high school. And it would, I don't know, like what he was doing, but he was hitting them every other month. He would switch it up and do something different. So I got to see graffiti like no other. Got to see the YKK dudes crushing it, TMH, a lot of crazy like crews from there, and then just the energy that the M train had on the rooftops that connected to the J train rooftops. So before I could even say like what I wrote or what I write, I was already hooked on just, you know, the artifacts on the walls. There was already a lot of old stuff. There was a lot of new stuff. It was insane. I remember this dude, Rest 185. I was a kid going up, and he had beef with everybody. Everyone wanted to beat him up. But, you know, looking back at it, he lasted longer than everybody. He had a better style. He represented more of the game than any of these guys did. I got to see this guy, like, go to war with both sides, Queens, Brooklyn. Everyone hated him. And he taught me a lot of stuff along the way. And that was before I even wrote. You know what I mean? So, like, there was so much history embedded before I picked up a marker. When I first picked up a marker, it was a paint marker that I got from a hobby store in Fresh Pond. The first time in my life that a marker went click, 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 click. Yo, that shit was crazy. Then I got a Marks a lot. It was like a Woodcraft, a thicker marker. That one was like super thick. You like click, click, click. I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. So just holding these graffiti utensils, the lollipop, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it was a shoe polish lollipop, and you have the dabber on the metal stick. Um,
Yep.
just the tools. The tools got me into it. Holding these things, you know, I hit up the junior high school when I was young, got in a lot of trouble. Getting in trouble got me into it, you know. Watching a lot of people try to teach me things when I was so young, like calling me a toy. I remember the first time I got called a toy, and I took it to heart. I still feel like I'm toy, you know, but I remember when I first got called toy by someone, and I wanted to rag all his shit. I already felt like the vengeance back then. So graffiti for me when I started was just like I transcended into a young teenager trying to impress a girl or something, writing her name up along the way to school or something. Before I knew it, I had a tag. I went by Deuce. I had done that for God knows as long as I could imagine back then, and felt like it had already ran its course and did enough, to eventually taking a trip to Amsterdam. And when I went to Amsterdam, it was just like I was 14 with a fake ID, went into all the coffee shops. Along the way, I was looking at all the graffiti tags, and the tags were like in like European Montana, I like Belton or some shit. They were just really funky colors. They weren't rusted. It was a painter's touch. I was like, ew, it looks too pastelic. All these weird tags everywhere that I felt like I couldn't read them because I could care less what you wrote. When you wrote like Old Block and Bellis, like all these European tags, I didn't resonate with none of that. And I was looking all over the poles. I was smoking. A lot of people had characters, and it wasn't street art. It had nothing to do with street art at the time. It was just kind of like people just goofing around. And I really just stopped and stared at all the different things, and there was stories. Like people would put one thing up, and then someone would add to that. And I spent the rest of the trip trying to think like what my tag that I was ready to die for, that I went to jail for already a bunch of times, what that tag really meant for me, and how much more I was willing to do for it. And I swear, like I left Amsterdam, and when I came back, I didn't do any letters. I had like a little thing against letters. I loved letters. I felt like that's all I knew. But at that moment when I came back, I wanted to spread this character kind of like a like an ant, a bunch of ants. So there's like not one character, but one character represents a bunch of something. So I'll be like the queen ant, and every single one that I put up would be like another ant. So I had that kind of perspective. So like I don't know if that falls under street art or graffiti, whatever it was. Like I just want to spread this shit. I have a new reason to get up out of bed. I have so what got me into writing is like a 7 year span before a 7 or 10 year span before I started writing when I was like 11. Nothing crazy at all, of course, but up until 11 to like 14, and then it just went crazy. And I knew like yo, you haven't stopped this. You're doing everything else. I like doing a bunch of shit in life, but that was always there. I like the skate that brought me all over the place to look at more graffiti. Like so, the reason why that I got into graffiti was my entire childhood, bro.
Wow, yo, and people don't understand when you're coming up in a place like this place that we came up at. So much shit is happening in the streets, and the certain people you look at, even if you don't know about graffiti, like you're just attracted to it looks, whatever the colors, and wonder who did that, how they do that. You know what I'm saying? And all of those things. As you're a kid, that shit is very powerful. It fucking it drags you in. You know what I'm saying? It's like street advertisements. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But so how did you actually come up with the tag Plasma Slug? Like what? Because a lot of this is what the fans want to know. What is a Plasma Slug? What does it mean? How did you come up with that?
So while writing the letters, I started really loving. When I was still doing the tag, I really started loving doing the insides and the colors. We'd rack up a lot of paint and have a lot of colors to choose from that would never go well together. So I'd always feel really accomplished going out and pulling off colors. Around that time, I started exploring New York. I explored the fuck out of New York. Before that, the whole like, oh, let's go exploring urban shit. Like I was just always exploring, and the the tag the tag got to the point where it looked like a character E. It looked like a Tasmanian devil. It started looking like all these things, my letter E, till eventually I saw like a germ, like a microorganism style piece, and started doing these really funky E's. They had no name to them, and I wanted to name it like B Cell, DCELL, like Diesel. So I started putting the name for that as Diesel, and that didn't last too long. Eventually, I had the name Plasma because it's kind of like a germ. So the word plasma was the germ of it. And then I had these things where I would do 3 rings. So that was like the slug. And the plasma would always eat the slug. So I would always make sure I put slugs around. And you got Plasma, the character, and then Slug. So people would be like, oh, that's Yo Plasma, Yo Slugs, but it's just like the name of the character. So for a good while there, I didn't even really say the name. I was just invested in the character, you could say. And the name just came to because it's the plasma, it's the blob. But it allowed me to do so much shit that letters at the time didn't for me. Like Now letters are ridiculous, you know. But back then, I was really restricted at one point with what I can do with my letters, how I could fit them, what spots I could hit. The four letter shit was getting kind of old to me because it only did so much. And like, this is just my personal thing. But when I did this character that blobbed and did all these, like, I could just fit it anywhere. It was just so free. So I just started sticking with that. The name Plasma, and then Plasma Slugs came, and I made it a thing not to write it for a long time. Even to this day, I feel like if I put it up somewhere I'm not supposed to, there's less a chance of me getting hot because there's no name attached to it. So when Joe Smo takes a picture and puts the fucking shit in the album or whatever, like, or whatever the case is, like, I don't know what section do we put this up funky frog looking thing, like, you know. So I always kept Plasma Plug away from it. Um, it's not as exciting as you would think, you know, but the character represented more than the name. The thing just needed to be named. Plasma is the blob. Slugs are what it eats. Plasma.
But that actually worked in your favor. Well, when it comes to like a person that thinks like me, because I'm the type of dude that when we used to cop the Wu-Tang albums that come out brand new, you look on the back at the list of all the songs, and then you start whatever song sounds the illest to you is the one that you
Brian.
play first. You know what I'm saying? Oh
Yeah,
shit,
heavy
Poisonous
space.
Dark. That sounds crazy. Let me listen to this. So when you hear Plasma Slug, that's like that name. It's very heavy the way it
It
sounds, my
does.
nigga.
It
Plasma
goes
Slug.
back. It goes back into the days where there was not that many funky names like that. And if they did spray, they weren't coming from a graffiti perspective. I don't know where to I want to ask you a question. How do you categorize my work? You know, like, to me, if there's a graffiti book out there, you know, I won't see it. If there's a street art book out there, I won't see it. Like, I'm not put in any categories, but both for the sides of people who do that shit, you ask them and they'll be like, yeah, I know of his work, or like how you spoke really highly of me. So, like, where the fuck do I fall? What am I, like, this funky hybrid and shit?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you straight like this because you see, I at least actually had the pleasure of bombing with you a few times also. You know what I'm saying? So I already know you about the streets, all of that shit, the spots and everything. But just as I'm not gonna say a character, just as one of the superheroes in the world of graffiti, you rank pretty highly because not a lot come out. First of all, you when you came out, boom, it was like you was for Dolly. Like I didn't see you bomb with no
Yeah,
one
I
really.
don't.
You know what I'm saying?
The
So
friends I choose to write with, they're not really good, and they're not like the people who write. They're like, "Why are you writing with that dude?" You know, and it's like the person who I'm writing with is not going to run on me. He's not going to snitch. He's not. Yeah, he does something weird. He doesn't write really well, but like he's a real dude, you know. And that's been my mo. And I'm not trying to call anyone that I paint with a toy or anything like that. But like, yeah, I don't write with anybody. I kind of go out with someone that I trust more than anything else if I'm going out with anyone.
so just to me, like especially when you first start out, to go bombing just for Dolo, that's even harder than going, you know what I'm saying, with a person. You know what I mean? To go and make a name for yourself. So you came out and you took the harder route, in my eyes, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying, from the
Well,
beginning.
can I
Then
touch on that,
you
Ernst? I
have
don't even want to cut you off. I love
yeah,
talking to you right now. You're getting me hype.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
When when I was doing all that you were saying, if I went back to the spot that I hit, it would get gone over because characters weren't abundant. I want to touch on Chili Willy. I know you know Chili Willy, one of the dopest characters, along with A. Charles, some of the shit I grew up with. But people would not let characters rock. That's like secondary. If there's a wall of 10 fill-ins, throwies, and my character was up, it would get gone over. So one of the big fuel to what I did was make sure I put up enough work so that somehow the levels were like the weight was like, nah, don't go over him. Holy shit. I broke ground, bro. I was like, don't go over that character, dude. Like, it wasn't just the free spot. He's gonna come back and hit it. He's gonna do something like, don't go over that dude. So that allowed a lot of more people to come out and say, like, I write this and this is my character. And I don't want to take credit for any of that shit because there's so many more characters before me. Um, but there was a point where I hit shit so fucking hard with the character that it was like, you can have a character on a wall and you should let that shit rock because it embodies somebody's passion and their work. And I was like, hey, that's me. Like, I'm really passionate and it embodies my work. I also want to say this. off subject. I felt like the times when I was the most up S and the most destructive and the most just repetitive and was kind of the low points in my life. Some of the lowest points in my life and the graffiti getting up street or whatever you call it, just putting my work out there, those are like insane. I'm still riding some of the waves though for that. Apparently, people learn and see shit every other day of something I've done years ago. Most of those times are really low times in my life, and graffiti still didn't save my life. It only made life hard. It's like, oh yeah, graffiti saved. No, that it added to the stress. It added to everything. But going back at what we were saying before, like I'm really passionate about getting this character up at a time where there was no character. So by myself, making sure I covered ground, touching on another thing. I just want to add stuff because I feel like you gave me a platform, bro, and I know you got questions, but it's like I appreciate your platform. It's going to the demographic of people who I respect. Back when I was getting up with my boy PC and AR, and they were cool with PK, Kid. They were cool with Nairo, Dart. Those are their boys, and those dudes brought out the jetpack, bro. They
Yes,
brought out the
sir.
jetpack, man. Like I was there when people were wondering. It didn't even get to JA's hands yet, for as far as I'm concerned. Not yet. Like shortly after, but he didn't have it. The fucking jetpack was out with PK and Kid. It was the how did they get there era, and majority of those spots were either access with the jetpack or hit with a jetpack. And I remember Dart bringing out the jetpack, and I was like, "Yo, it's a fucking telescoping ladder." I took a run with that telescoping ladder, like. I had my telescope ladder was my best friend. It was like someone's fishing rod. It was like someone's skateboard. It was like everything to me. If I could put scratches on that ladder for everything I hit, like that shit would look crazy. I made a run with it, and I learned that if I hit 10 spots, normally 6 spots would get gone over in one way or another. I'd have to come back. It's very counterproductive. As soon as I got my hand on the fucking telescope ladder, oh, I never looked back. I must have hit hundreds of spots with that shit. Um, and I owe it to like those guys, you know. And then I remember seeing it on the like RTB. Much respect to them. I remember seeing it on Gram. People posting like they would be posting the ladders, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? No, you know, it was like that early in the age. Like, no, don't leak that, yo. Nowadays, it's like part of the fucking silhouette of the photo as you see the telescoping ladder bending against the wall, and it's all exposed. And you know, it was just one cool element back then that I got to tap in and see kind of get birthed so raw, and no one knew where to get it. You know, it was a really excellent time to see my work get to expand while I was like, fuck life. You know, I got a fucking ladder. I'm going up high. You can't go over me and shit. They're like that era now. Oh man, like now they're way higher than that.
Yeah, but when you start, that was a good gonna be another question I was gonna ask you about the spots. Like, was that like a part of your repertoire from the beginning of your plans? Like, I'm just gonna hit like high spots or spots that nobody could get to, or some like, you know, because me, I'm just a street bomber. I just walk the streets and I catch whatever I see right there or whatever. You know, I'm not really climbing up
Bro, I
nowhere.
love
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
I
Really
love
like
that
that.
title, and many few can claim it, but not many can really know what it is and the ever where it mattered. And yeah, you definitely are a fucking street bomber, bro. And you definitely played no games. And I don't know about seeing a lot of shit high, but you had rooftop, you know.
Yeah, I did a lot of rooftops, but I just wanted to touch back something on you said too. You said well, you said it, but this is what what the point that I was gonna come to, that so you didn't even have the name attached to the character. You was keeping the name unattached from the character, and when people would see a character,
Oh,
especially something
I
that's
made it
new, it's
hard.
like,
I
oh,
made
that's
it
the
hard.
spot.
Like I made it. I don't even know how people attribute both for a while. Nowadays, yes. Back then, for a good 10 years, like I don't even know people. People would definitely meet me and be like, "Oh, that's that. What is that?" Or, "Oh, I thought that was that." Like I didn't. I separated the name and the thing. I just want to put the action up. You know how
Because a
we're
lot
all
of people
they
be
say
like,
you're addicted to smoking weed sometimes by the action of you rolling up, just chilling. Like the actions let you relief, and smoking is like counterintuitive because you're just doing it. But all that shit was what really made you relax. So the plasma slug, the thing has all these different structures and curves. So fucking soothing to just and like that curve. So it was really not about the letters anymore, but it was like the sword swiping, ninja fruit, and like learning where the flares were going. It was so brand new to me, so exciting. Going back to the spots, I've always been big on spots. I feel like I had my era where I wanted to be in front of everyone's face, and I didn't street bomb like you know? So I did other shit, but I made sure I got up everywhere. And if it was like a fame spot or Delancey or something, I wanted to make sure I hit up everything around that area 10 times before I stumbled onto like where everyone else did something. And I told you I liked exploring. And New York was like so different back then that you could actually be the first one in that area for like a week or a month. There was dead spots, you know? And those things were exciting. I love to smoke weed and chill. I had a lot of friends who would, you just get your license, you're driving all over New York or something, and you find all the Dumbo. Come on, man. Have you ever been to Dumbo back in the days? Like, we know what Dumbo
Hell
looks like
yeah.
now. Or like
Hell yeah.
Williamsburg and near the shore and all these like these areas for a young kid was just amazing. So as a teenager growing up, and I just got better and better and finding these cool spots. It was never even like, oh, let me hit this so this will last longer. Some of these things were just like all of us experience it, where you see something, you want to hit it, and then you want to hit it, and I don't know what it is. Like some of y'all are able to hit it and keep on going, but for me, these things start adding up, and it's like I haven't hit that yet. I'm not ready to hit that. So some of the spots that I wanted to hit just became harder and harder and more difficult and difficult. So they were really missions, and eventually like the missions, because I realized if I caught a tag everywhere, it didn't really matter as much as if I caught a tag somewhere that didn't matter. Like don't let that fly over your head. You know what I mean? Like plenty of tags where it matters that doesn't really matter compared to a spot where you hit that doesn't matter. Like this fucking hit this shit that doesn't matter. Go hit a bunch of don't matter spots. Let that like fuse your ego, you know? So just hitting shit to hit shit. In an era where people didn't really do that. Like everyone's like, I need attention in the most I need attention ways. And that's what I love about this. Graffiti is part of all the coolest elements. Music, art, hip hop, breakdancing, all this shit. But all those things individually say like, here I am. This is me. I'm alive. I'm rocking. Watch me. You're not listening. So
Was you
that's
was you
my
one of those
spots. I wanted
kids?
some spots like that, like the opposite of that.
Was you one of those kids that your moms and your pops knew that you wrote graffiti and they used to beef to you or throw your paint away? That ever happened to you?
um, I grew up with a single mom. She covered all ends for me. She's like the best parent, and I swear, like till this day, she supports all of that shit. Back then, she just had to try to steer me off from getting hurt. Like she didn't want to lose me. I was all she had. So I tell her like, oh, I was hiding underneath the train when it was moving. Yo, we had to hide in the tunnel. The train came, and if you lay under it by the side, you're not gonna get hit by the platform. Shit like that. I wasn't train surfing, bro. These niggas nuts out here, bro. I wasn't train surfing, but I was doing crazy shit. I think I could have died back then. I was gonna walk the Bedford Tunnel to First Ave, and we
Oh,
were in First
oh,
Ave, and we were gonna walk back. Like that's how unknowledgeable I was. So we walked halfway in, and just shit felt weird, and we left back. But like we didn't know better. Like you can't really walk that. We would not have made it.
no,
So my mom
that's
had this
crazy that you
vibe that
say
like
that.
my mom had this vibe when
As
she
my
saw me
bad.
leave the house. She was really always worried about me. So it wasn't so much like, oh, I'm gonna throw your paint out. She was supportive with all that shit, but she definitely didn't want to see her kid fall victim to all the statistics around her.
Yeah, it's crazy that you mentioned that fucking Bedford to First Avenue tunnel, bro, because when I was coming up, I wanted to be a train rider. But by the time I was 12 years old and I was out there was no more trains. So the first thing I hit was the tunnels. I used to be walking the tunnels by myself as a 12-year-old kid with the paint and shit. You know what I'm saying? And yo, it's just crazy, bro. The things that I did as a young kid that if my mother knew, she would have fell out and fucking
Yeah,
died. You know what I'm saying?
twice.
And then I had my little brother with me at 5 years old and 6 years old carrying the bag of paint, my
In the
nigga,
tunnels?
in the
Oh
tunnels,
my
nigga.
god.
And I always thought, yo, son, I swear to God, I always thought I'm gonna walk through this Bedford tunnel and I'm gonna hit both sides of the tunnel. I'm gonna walk to my, I was gonna walk there and back.
You need
That's what I thought.
a lot of
I,
paint.
I, I didn't. Yo, but yeah, as I get a little older, I'm like, nigga, I can't make that wall. You crazy? You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
think
just crazy. But
it's about the
I
pressure and all that shit. I think there's a lot of no clearance areas in it that go for a long stretch. You kind of just got to say, like, does Smith have anything in it? Does JA have anything in it? Like, if they ain't got it, like, I ain't going in there.
that's a good analogy. If they didn't hit it, that means like it's that dangerous.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? Yo, so then you fucking that this is a testament to the work that you put in because you was a character that people would just when people see characters, especially when it's new, that's a spot. They just go
Mhm.
over it. And you earned your way out of that. People, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, that's Slug and shit. Then you start bombing. I see you start bombing with a couple of people and shit, and it's like, oh shit, when you start like these niggas is real right here and they bombing with slugs, so that nigga must be bout it and shit.
I got the
So
pain.
it's like,
I
did
got
you
the
ever?
pain with Fuzz One for a bunch of times. You know, I got the pain with people like you and the greats, and you say it like that, but not too long after, I had a lot of these great and talented and bombers, all these motherfuckers hitting me up like, yo, how do I get my first show going, or how do I get this shit like glazed over? How do I fucking hit this canvas with a prime? How do I do shit? You know, they were coming to me left and right, bro. A lot of people were like asking me questions that I was like, yo, this guy should know this already. You know what I mean?
Yo, just like me, bro, because I will tell the whole graph world right now.
Acrylic.
Plasma Slug is the one that put me on to acrylic painting
I'm laughing
on
right now. I'm
canvases.
smiling at us.
Bro,
I know you can't see me, bro, but
if it wasn't for him, I would still be doing paint markers and shit
uh,
like that, bro.
uh,
Bro, I gotta tell the story. So Slug had an art studio in Brooklyn somewhere. So he invites me through. He's like, "Yo, I got a couple of pieces that I want to collab with you." So I'm like, "Bet, I'm a collab with Plasma Slug. Dope." I go to his fucking studio. The shit was fire, dope atmosphere. I'm like, all right, boom. Then he passes me one of the things. So now I like sketch out whatever I'm gonna do, and then I ask the nigga like, "Where's the markers?" And he's like, "Nah, right here to paint." And I was like, nah, I never did that before. And you was like, yeah, but you won't do it now. You was like, and I was like, I don't know how. You was like, nigga, you know how. Look, and you did your shit with the paint in front of me, boom. And then after that, we did the two collabos back to back, and they came out fire. Plasma Slug put me on, bro. Thank you, my brother. I really appreciate that because after that, I made a lot of money on
that's
canvases. You know what I'm saying?
good. The studio errors are really great to me. Like, I'm glad I took initiative. My wife at the time originally told me, hey, like, you should take this a little further. So many more details before and all of that, but the studio time's a really great era, and I got a lot of cool people to come past and get to meet a lot of great artists at the same time as a lot of good people. And I remember just linking up with you a couple times was just, I don't know, man. I tell you, like, this shit was breathtaking, bro. Like, it don't make sense sometimes because when you meet most of these people you look up to, you're really disappointed. It's never the other way around. But I know a few good people. Uh, Definitely linking up with you. Like, you've never steered me wrong. You've never led me in a place where I shouldn't be. And I respect that, bro. Because there's a lot of opposite. That's not the way a lot of other people roll. I'll tell you like this: I'd let you babysit my kids, bro. There's a fucking 95% graffiti writers I won't let come near my kids. You know what I'm
Yo, salute, Slug. Likewise, man, because all the times we painted together, we had nothing but fun and success completing the mission that we set out to do. You
I
know what I
like I
mean?
like missions, bro. I think so. So I've been saying my whole life, like, oh, when I'm in a bad part in life, I get up, blah blah. But I think I got bit by the bug again recently, man, and it starts real slow. It's the same cycle. It's this fucking cycle that goes like stickers, fucking marker tags, spray paint the spots, missions, and then it goes all in again, and it comes like spiraling down into like, oh, you know what? But I really like doing art. I really like doing fucking colors, and I just want to bang out a burner on this little thing or something to my best abilities. So I'm kind of in the realm of like I just want to leave my name more and represent something because I'm in a new chapter in life. I'm not depressed. I'm not any of that shit. I'm feeling great, and I want something to stand for that era. Last couple years, I didn't even want my shit affiliated with the walls and the pictures of anything near other people's work. Not that I'm better than anyone, but we all have that bah humbug version of us in graffiti. My bah humbug was like, yo, I didn't want to be seen with the new antics, but I respect the new antics. But I just wanted to step aside. I want to go to the bench. Can I explain something to you, S? You know how
Shoot,
you know
shoot.
how they say, because I don't want to just over talk this shit. But thanks again for the platform, man. But they say this is a marathon, right? A marathon is the most cliche thing that we tend to use when we describe this thing. My point of the marathon is that like I've been running, and this is like a New York marathon too, because this is a global graffiti fucking marathon, and some of these motherfuckers is out there. I'm talking about like New York and what I did. Um, the marathon in New York consists of a bunch of riders. We're all running for this. If you're smart, you run it like a marathon. If not, you just think there's some goal and you just air out. Goodbye to you. So we're all running, right? We're all running next to each other. Some might not last just because that's not what they want to do. Yo, I'm about that money now. I'm not about that, I'm about getting money and shit. So you lose those dudes. Then you're running, you look left to the right, and your crew is keeping up with you. Then your crew goes, all the stereotypes, locked up, jail, girlfriend, drugs, blah, blah. So now you're running on your own. Me and you, we're running on our own and shit. I haven't caught up to people like JA and them. I'll never catch up to them. I'm not in the same marathon as them. I'm not, but they went this route. I know they were running this path at one time. I'm not trying to catch up. I'm smarter now. I know that I just have a pace. It's my pace. And my pace, there's no finish line. Like not like, yo, there's no finish line, my nigga. Like this shit is never. No, there's no finish line because like I can't accomplish everything I would like to do. So I'm just gotta pace. My pace is my pace, and I come across a lot of some riders. They come running from behind me. I'm like, oh shit, this dude's crushing. He's fucking killing it. I'm borderline jealous, bro. I'm like, oh man, I want to have freedom. I want to go back out there and crush like that. Couple months go by, and next year I'm still here. I'm still alive, bro. I'm still scratching on shit. Still just getting up how I can get up. And wait, whoa, who's that? Who's that up ahead? S? That's that rider that was just crushing it last year, bro. Look at him, beat up, all on drugs and shit. Rest in peace. What? Rest in peace. Like you lose people in this marathon, and that was a dude who was just crushing it. So, it wasn't up to me to try to run past him. I had my pace. He had his pace. His pace, he went out of control. I think this graffiti shit has a lot of people running out of control, and I think it adds to the excitement and what graffiti really is. It really stamps it down. It's like full action sport before you know it. Some people say like it's just graffiti, but a lot of people are willing to risk a lot for this just graffiti. All we're doing is running this race, trying to get to a place that we're accomplished. And a lot of riders have, they slow down. That walk you see people doing when they stop running for a long time, they just walk fast, then they come off, and they gracefully leave this graffiti world, bro. And I'm still here like limping. I'm young, but I hung out with a lot of old fucking dudes growing up. I hung out with a lot of people, but I'm tired. My bones hurt. I really think I'm at the point where if I try to run, I might not really get away like I was trying to run back then, just looking to run and get away from shit. So my marathon pace right now is just day by day. I'm scared of heights. Yo, I'm scared of heights. I've been scared of heights. I do a lot of crazy shit apparently, but I'm scared of heights. I've been picking up the rappelling shit lately. I'm not doing it anywhere near like these guys. I learned all on my own. I learned it's scary. I learned on YouTube. Couple of months just looking at every day. Every day I'm looking into it. What's this rope do? How much weight does it hold? How does that rope break? What does this carabiner do? What is a carabiner? I'm like, this shit, I have kids, bro. I'm really scared of that shit. And I learned all of it. I got really knowledgeable, got confident, got the equipment little by little. Been so broke, but I managed to get the equipment and put to use some cool spots, some cool new experiences, bro. I got some new experiences at fucking older age. So I don't know, man. Like this shit doesn't have to be the marathon that everyone thinks it is, but you can take a break. You can get some water. You can take care of your kids. Go be a fucking person that does something with your life. I'm not like, if you're really good at graffiti, I'm not too sure how good you are at everything else, because you can't really balance both. I see very few people balance both. But, you know, I don't know where they are in the marathon, but guess what? Those people learn how to keep the pace. Those motherfuckers got a pace. That's why you still see them. So whatever your pace is, whenever you decide to come back in, but that's the marathon I see graffiti in. Look at A. Charles. Like, he's in this marathon, bro. You know, like, he's fucking in this marathon still. He's got a pace. He's doing his thing. I'm not trying to run past him. If I ever get to his level, I want to run next to him a little bit, learn something, give him some, like, hey, you're the man, along with a bunch of other people. That's how I feel in this marathon. I'm glad I got to run with you. I'm glad we got to take a side to the left. We hit some spots, and you came back to your marathon, bro.
That's a fact, bro. And that was another question I was gonna ask you, because like the great A. Charles with the famous baby, so innovative and so inspirational, just in art world and in graph world, you know, in the streets and in the upper levels of the culture and shit. Who's your favorite? Give me your top three favorite characters or faces.
Hmm. I don't want to skip over anybody, yo. You know,
So say whoever you want. Say whoever you want.
I would say that there's a very thin line between, you know, when they say like Basquiat and Keith Haring, and I have a hard time
Yep.
believing that they crushed it in the streets and the five borough spectrum. Like, I don't believe that if you went to Bell Parkway or Sheepshead Bay or Clinton Hill, Astoria, Corona, yeah, these guys went global, but I don't think they were in the bathroom at like the local pizzeria scratched into the thing. So I remember going to like the museums kind of things when I was young and hearing about those guys, not like saying, hey, these guys hit the streets or anything, but they were all shoved in my face, bro. You know, so like those characters and those type of art was just shoved in my face really young. And I always had like a beef with these guys. They're fucking legendary, bro. They're everything apparently I'm not gonna be. I'm not planning on dying. I'm not planning on dying in a cool, fancy way. I want to be here a long time, but they died at the right time. Um, and so you say characters, and I think just like people who are able to like stop normal human beings and be like, what's that? Graffiti doesn't really stop a lot of human beings and be like, what's that? We're very immune to graffiti nowadays. So like that was the kind of stuff I thought back then as a kid under 10 years old. After that, I remember seeing Chili Willy used to do the Chili Willy penguin face. There was this guy, Weirdo. I remember going to VIM in Knickerbocker and seeing the A. Charles fucking baby on the stairs on the way down. So it's got to be like 30 plus years, and I still remember that vividly. Um, but then you had characters like Seaman. You had characters like, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, if you really ask me, I don't know too many before me because there was a lot, but they all did weird shit. Like, to me, to really do it, you know that kid Ages? Yeah,
Ages, yeah.
he does that character. Um,
Yep.
See, like, someone in Cali might be like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about, but like, Ages is a kid who writes, he does letters and a character, and he made sure he hit up all the boroughs and crushed it. You know, so he's not from a back then character, but I really love to see someone who's doing a character fucking go full throttle with it, you know, and stand behind that character. And they're like, I don't know how to like miss a bunch of characters because, oh, you know who I really like growing up? Dalek. You know, that was just different at the time. He was using a lot of European paint, fucking painting with like lady pink and shit, doing murals, and I thought things like that. But that's the thing. Like, characters weren't really there when I was putting up stickers. There wasn't handmade shit. A lot of things are printed, so I didn't really get to see a lot of characters. One would think, but it's only because everyone that did characters wasn't all city fucking. I don't want to use the word crushing, bro, but they weren't like going hard like someone like Ages had went in his run. You know, there's a lot of people nowadays characters that I fuck with more than the characters back then.
Sabe used to crush shit. You know what I'm saying? He had a
Yeah,
nice
you know,
face.
it's crazy. That's what I
Um,
said. That's why I said like I don't know how they'll slip my past my mind. There you go, Sade. You know, that dude's fucking. everyone knows his shit too. So it's not like he didn't get his flowers. So it's good that like he can use that character to cement himself as someone who did character in the era way before me, bro. You know, it'd be nice to see how he went. Yeah, UFO, you know, but I didn't see UFO as much in all the areas that I was painting. He was very isolated, and then the people who I did see more at that era, because I'm talking about UFO later, I would definitely have seen it, but back then was the Muck, Ozzy, and Gen 2. So Free 5. So with those guys, it wasn't the characters more, but the guys who did letters that look fucking so creative and funky. I love that shit.
Muck is killing shit right now. Muck is killing shit right now.
Hmm.
Harlem, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, fillings everywhere.
It's such a good era in graffiti right now.
Word. Well, so how was you born like an artist or just into art from the beginning? How did you even start getting into the canvases and all that other stuff?
I was shoved in art when I was young, and I wasn't good at it. You know, I got my mom took me to some art Pratt Institute where I got to see like Ewok tags and silver marker in the bathroom. Homie was in Art Pratt Institute. You know what I mean? That was on decal down there in Brooklyn. But I wasn't in school. We went on every Saturday. Went for art class. But I got to know real quick. I wasn't homie to the left who was doing the charcoal parakeet fucking realism, the still models, and I couldn't do a cube for my life. So even my art life in school, when I went art for school, like I would fail. I had no push to say like you're good at art. The same way I didn't when I used to write in junior high school, like my penmanship was all hand style. So I practiced junior high school to high school. Whenever I wrote, was just hand style. So if you looked at any of my notebook, they look like some graffiti artifact Bible of letters. Um, yeah. So like
So you
that's my
think what
art.
about
That was my art. Like I had no art, bro. So I think art just came like the art. As far as art, selling art and all that, I had a show back in the days, and I don't know what made me have one, but I had it in a record shop in Dumbo, and I love the reception. It was so cool because I felt like it didn't belong there. It wasn't art, and it definitely wasn't graffiti. But the people like who had the shop were really into my work and wanted me to do something like that. And they spearheaded the idea, and I took over the concept where like, hey, if I do art, I'm not going to show my face. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And like fast forward, I lightened up a lot on all those rules and ego things holding me back and just being smart. You know, like don't you remember like to be someone in any field of life back then, you had to be genuine, you had to be real, you had to be reliable. Things that like people take for granted or don't even do nowadays. Like these are the only ways to get up a rank in your workplace and your crew and anything you did. You have to have this level of like, hey, I'm respectable, so I can take that torch and I can light this shit. You know. So with graffiti, I didn't want to do that. Like I never got co-signed yet at the time. So a lot of the top writers that I spoke to at the time said, "Yo, you should do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't get up enough. I didn't really do that. I didn't do that." And they're like, "Nah, nah, nah. You're good, bro. Do it. And what you do is great. Do it." So I only needed a couple people high rank like you to confirm and co-sign that like I can tap into the art world. You guys are gonna let me do art and not rag on my shit. You know, you guys are gonna let me fucking get up now, and now I can show you like what I like to do on my free time when I have creativity and paint in front of me. And then I started making a lot of money with it, and it was cool to see. At one point, I had a napkin, and I tagged up the napkin and sold it for $75. And that shit was like addicting. Just the idea that I can do that, you know. And I didn't let it get to my head, but I was like, all right, like let's make art for fucking myself, but like let's make sure we also sell shit. So I don't know, how many paintings do you think I've done? Like let's not count those wooden boards that I painted, but how many paintings do you think I've done? Like, you know, like thousands, bro. Thousands of paintings. You know, not like, oh man, street corners. I did that shit too, bro. I did everything. I did every fucking octopus leg. This is my ego, but I did every octopus leg that is attached to getting up. You know, and I stuck to a few here and there. I got a couple legs left. You know, that's all I could do is just stick to a couple things that I'm good at nowadays and make sure I'm passionate about them before I don't have any more legs left in this shit. So art was one of the things that I was able to stand on and be proud of doing it, all the while like at the end of the night going out and doing something or just whatever was attached to it. It made me travel, got to meet a lot of cool people in a lot of good scenarios where they were like, hey, you should come out to this state and do an art show, or you could come out here. So art was getting me more places than graph was, and when I got to those places I could do graph.
Well, so now I'm gonna have to start picking your graffiti brain, Slug. So, all right, I want to ask you this first. Who was the funnest? Do you have like a favorite bomb that you hit or funnest bomb?
Like, what was the funnest time painting or something?
Yeah, yeah. Or the craziest time painting.
Um, Yo, bro, I've gotten to paint with some of the top writers in this fucking generation, you know, and some of the coolest times I have wasn't with them. Some of the most memorable times wasn't with anybody. Some of the most funnest times to someone else would have been like, that shit was whack. You know, it's a hard pill to swallow for me. I know it's a simple question, but I don't want to just throw out my funnest time because I'm so rich. I'm so rich in this shit, man. You can't take any of this and cash it in. I can't get like
So what about your
receipts.
favorite spot? You got a favorite spot that you hit? Like you was like, yeah, this shit is this is it right here.
Yo, I got to hit the Hell's Gate, bro. Like growing up, looking to the right, right? Every growing up, looking to the right and seeing that bridge, wondering how big that ledge was. I got to go with my man Stu, bro. My wife. We went there, hell of a mission. Caught a cramp in my leg. I had a like a real cramp, like one of those tennis balls that pops out your calf. And I was walking it and like, oh man, like we're gonna commit. We saw a security camera up there that looked like some crazy shit, some crazy camera, bro. And we walked past that, and I got to go on that ledge, and the ledge wasn't intimidating. It wasn't like the way that I thought it would have been. I saw that ledge so many times, I spooked myself from going anywhere near it. And when I got on that ledge, I was like, oh wait, this is one of the biggest ledges I've ever been on. But I got to hit it, and it wasn't the craziest spot that I hit or the funnest, but it was like, you know, like in this big game of trying to like hit different spots, the Hell's Gate was one of them. And from a little kid looking out the window to being able to look out the window now as an adult and see something of mine's up there, and almost saying like, if you want to hit New York, you kind of got to hit that bridge. I don't really care where you live in New York, but I always thought that bridge was a key point for hitting it. So I feel like the Hell's Gate, the missions and to other people that's so simple, you know, but the Hell's Gate was the one that's like really got me up out of bed and saying like, oh, today's the day I go to hit the shit I've been looking at since I was a kid and not doing, you know, and coming back and being accomplished. That shit was real. Some really fun stuff was a lot of the days where I used to crush walking around the city just walling out, disrespecting shit and just straight vandalizing. It was like it would have been my version of like, yeah, I'm a bomber, you know, and just destroying shit. Those are really good times. It's not a big part of my era that I like think about nowadays, but like since we're talking about this, there were so many good spots that were just in the city around the time of like St. Mark's and all that, and got to meet a lot of cool people. So I mean, graffiti's like that. I don't really have one spot. I just know that a lot of spots nowadays are fucking like my list is crazy, bro. The things that I gotta go do, like these are gonna be my favorite spots.
Did when you was younger, did you take pictures of any of your spots or any of your work or graph or anything like that?
I felt like we weren't allowed to. Like you shouldn't, even though like people had collections. But in junior high school, when they catch you with your fucking notebook tagged up or anything like that, you would be fucked. So having pictures was like a big no-no to me. But then that was my deuce era where I wrote with letters. So I don't have any pictures of that whole thing. It doesn't exist. It's just me talking up here. People could be like, I don't know, what are you talking about? But that shit meant something to me. But I have no documentation. So when I started doing Plasma Slug shit, I really started documenting the fuck out of it a lot. I got a lot of pictures of it. And I got used to just making sure like things were photographed because I knew what it was to not have that shit. And memory is really short. Life is really not as long as you think. And the pictures that we have, you barely can access them. They're on your phone that you're gonna lose. They're on a computer you don't use no more. Are they in a shoebox? And where's that shoebox at? But there's pictures. They're out there. What if the internet goes? Most of you guys don't have a career anymore. You don't exist because that's everywhere it's documented. So I do take pictures of all it, but I don't see it the same. I see it more like someone has to. Somebody's got to take a picture of that shit because then fucking doesn't really exist outside of that.
If, did you ever see your shit in a magazine or something and was tight?
No, man, I don't. I got a lot of my wooden boards that I painted stolen, and they would be sold and all that shit. And I feel like magazines and people stealing your work and taking it adds the value to your shit. Like you might think, oh, you know how many graffiti writers I saw sell their work, and they put this crazy price tag on it, where it's like, yeah, I don't know if it's his ego or if he's his pride, and he puts this like what
I'm a
it's worth. He
witness.
puts the price really high
I'm
up
a
on his
witness.
piece and it doesn't sell. And like just coincidentally, the guy's not he doesn't want to do canvases. Art is for pussies. And it's like, yeah, because no one wanted to buy your rusty ass fill-in for fucking $1,000 or $2,000, bro. Like he went all city back when. So a big part of that was that.
I was a witness to that. So this dude Plasma Slug had the show, bro, and he had one of the most creative ideas. He gave all like he gave a bunch of different artists a wooden cutout of the Plasma Slug throwy, and you could design it any way you want. You remember that shit, Slug?
Yeah, so that was like my
And
homage to a lot of writers that I had looked up to back then, or I pretty much what I looked up to. Graffiti's so much fucking ego, bro. People were getting their feelings like, oh, like we're cool, you didn't let me hit it, or can you let me do one? And like at the time, not knowing how many people would show up, I just wanted to stick to my vision and just be like, nah, like I want people who I respect. I had like, that dude SNX. Um,
yep,
CP. So like,
Queens.
not a lot of writers know him. Like Troll 22. Scratchy King. So there's all these writers who like they did shit, bro. They fucking did it, but like they're not on the radar. There's no one that will upload their photos on the most popular graph sites no more. And I wanted to like tap into a lot of those artists, and it got kind of out of hand where there was more writers than I could fit on the boards, But like the show had to go on, so I did that show. It was fucking pretty crazy. I don't know if you've seen it in person, but it was packed. It definitely
Yeah, I
helped me
was there.
start.
That was the point of my story because some dude in there tried to steal one of the boards and he got beat up outside.
Yeah, two people stole shit. One person added his thing. He thought he was like Banksy and everything. He cut out a plasma board and then he painted on it and attached it to the wall. Um, Another dude
Wow.
stole Klopp's piece, so it was like, Klops has fanboys that fucking would do something like that. So they snatched the Klops piece. If anyone ever saw that Klops piece, you could just call that dude a dick sucker who has it. But they snatched that, and then someone else snatched another piece, and my homies came into the room like, yo, they just stole your shit, and I was like, get them. And they pressed the dude outside. They made him lift up his shirt, and then the plasma board fell out his shirt, and they grabbed it from the floor and smacked him with it. So like some dude got smacked with a plasma board that he still tried to steal. Like that went down that night.
Yo, great times, bro. Yo, and you know what's crazy, bro? There was one, cause I did my shit. What I did like a 92 stadium, like the plasma was a 92 stadium, right?
You did
Jacket.
the dopest
And then
one, bro.
so I was looking, thank you, man. I was looking at all the other ones, of course you're gonna compare, right? And there was a lot of dope ones. I was like, holy shit, the nigga Distort. Oh my God. He had like the reflection of a guy in the nigga's sunglasses or some shit.
I remember that, bro. Yeah.
Bro, that shit was retarded. Then you had Stem. he had like the hand with a designer
One of them
drawing,
had
and that shit looks
the
so good.
fuzzy hair on it with the googly eyes. There was, I don't know if you've seen, I've done a lot of stuff where I ask some of my supporters to give me their own versions of the plasma slugs. Sometimes people will be eating some spaghetti and meatballs and the shape up and they look like a plasma slug. Some people see a cloud. It's like the shape that I've done has really established itself and let people, be familiar with it. I noticed that your live has had about 30 or so people. It's stuck to around 30, right? But like these are a loyal 30 fucking people, bro. Like this is quality. That 30 people is quality. Like that shit hasn't dropped. You know what I mean? So I know some people have a bunch of other high ranking things, but like I'm glad that all 30 of these people are here to listen to what we gotta say. Much respect to everyone listening. I kinda wanna say too, I've been making some ink. This is hard to see right now, but I would say when you're finished with this, give one of these guys the opportunity. Maybe we have 30 people. Everyone guesses a number, and the first person who guesses your number, I'll send it out to them. So I don't know if everyone else wants that in the chat. If you guys want a chance to win
Oh,
ink,
you
if
heard?
SR is down, I'm down to do something like that.
Some original plasma
Yeah,
slug ink. Here we
my
go. I'm gonna think of
my
a
dudes
number right
taught me that
now.
shit a long time ago, bro. I learned a lot of tricks of the trades, bro.
That we was gonna I want to get to that too, because like I said, you introduced me to the more artistic side of it, like being a little more professional, and the you know what I'm saying. So um now when you had that art studio, I think I remember you was doing, or it might have been your girl at the time, she was doing like interviewing for a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so my wife was working on a project around the time that I met her. She was working on that for a while before I met her as well. And word on the streets. The coolest part about the boards you were talking about and stuff like that film was that we got to see a lot of these artists grow. Like look at where Distort is at now. You know, some of the artists that were featured in her graph video are not some, most of them are still doing this shit. Like this shit didn't stop for them. She single handedly did this where one of her friends, Nick, and it was just them two. And you know, graffiti writers are so hard to deal with. You do this shit, the podcast, you're dealing with mad drama. So she single handedly had to deal with like countless amount of drama from different people. So all the reasons, but she would leave at like 3 in the morning, head down to the most craziest parts of like Bay Ridge or something. 3 in the morning where trains don't even go, like and go out there and document fucking graph writers and come back with some footage and compiled shit for I think 4 years or even longer, bro. Compiled the footage, never showed it. Has all these graph writers like, yo, send me that outline, yo, send me that outline we did, like my man, just wait, something great is coming. So she did that, made that film. And I think it was one of the best films at that time, that era, because it was like it wasn't for profit. She told the story, and the story was told really well, and the characters in the story are still rocking. Thank God. It's not one of those like, oh, and we lost a lot of them and they're locked up. Like, no, a lot of these dudes are ticking, bro.
So so the movie, it came out on something.
She,
What is it,
she,
on YouTube or
she did
something?
a drop, and she gave out the DVDs. Her and Nick gave out the DVDs to all the artists, and then it's online on YouTube. It's called Word on the Streets, and it's a really good film. It's got a lot of these artists young.
Good. I always wondered about that shit. Word on the
Word on the
streets. I'm gonna
Streets.
check that shit out.
Yes.
That's fire on YouTube. I'm gonna check that shit out, bro. What about this, yo, Slug? I gotta start picking your graph brain like in a sports sense. Like, so who's your top five or ten, whoever you could think of, favorite street bombers of all time?
It's a little biased, yo, because there's like the little kid in me. Then there's the grown up version of like, oh, like I would never even pick that dude. But if I go nice and slow and think about it, I can probably stop at like three, but there's like 50. But I'd say JA number one, not because I'm like, oh, he's the number one, but because like he deserves that spot. It, it's weird like that. I also like a lot of out of state and out of town and out of country fucking writers a lot. I like what they do. But growing up, Kes Five, You know, there was this ridiculous seeing his. He would come out of jail, bro, and fucking crush shit, and then you wouldn't see him again. Life would go on, and then you would see shit crushed, and you're like, oh shit, like he's not in jail or something, and then it would disappear, and then it would come back, and it was like in those little moments where he did come back, his graph was extremely influential. Um, and you see, like those are like Bushwick riders, but not even like favorite riders, but like riders I loved seeing was like Boner, like oh my god, like Deck, fucking Bed-Stuy. Once you crossed over that J line, it got serious, bro. For real. Wiser, Zeos, Zeos, Dink was ridiculous. Um,
Yo, I'm glad you said Zeos because that nigga don't get no props at all. That nigga got the whole heart of Brooklyn
yeah,
destroyed, boy.
still tags rocking. I'd say JRC growing up, you know,
Ooh.
he did his thing. Um, That's and all them. The whole SNR crew was really close to me. So I didn't know that they were really close, but they were close enough for me to see MZ and Fish tour. So that crew was killing it back then. That's it, man. Like after that, it just starts getting more crazier. But some of those riders were just ridiculous. You, bro, SR, fucking, like riders that I seen daily. That was you guys.
All right, what about favorite who got the dopest throw up, Slug? Who give me your top 10 favorite throw ups of all time? Who got the dopest throw up?
You remember that? This isn't the dopest, but you remember Ench, and how he used to roll.
Of course.
He would roll off his tags from the floor.
Yep.
So that dude's shit was bananas. Like it was ahead of its time. Um, Growing up, I would go to Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn a lot. I had family out there, and that dude Deck, he had like how there's four corners on every block. The dude had a fill-in on every four corners, but he had one on like both sides too. So he wrapped the block twice on every corner, almost everywhere in Bed-Stuy. And, later on I met him, really good dude. But he was a giant, and he was big. And I don't know if he was always big and a giant back then or what he did in the streets that they respected him. But he was up in the area that you couldn't really walk around after dark unless you knew something. But he was like vandalizing the shit, So that throw up was embedded in my brain for sure. That Deck shit was everywhere, bro.
Definitely dope, bro. Deck, I interviewed Deck, bro. Top to bottoms, my nigga. That nigga, his shit was always solid, crazy, bro. I used to be like bugging, like, yo, niggas getting bagged just writing a tag. How the fuck did you do this giant,
That's
double
Adder and
outline?
Keeps' era, like that whole time frame when those dudes were crushing it beyond things. Like there was that guy Bear, there was Bill. I think like Bed-Stuy was on fire. I think Bed-Stuy was some of the best graffiti um, imaginable, to the point where you look at some of the murals nowadays that are faded out there and you say, wow, those are fucking gems. Like all those rest in peace murals that are still running. And it gives you a good taste that like that town was crazy when it came to the walls, bro.
And the whole, that's the home of the
Yeah,
fuck crew. You know what I'm saying? Those are the gods right
Maria
there.
and all those. And
LCL.
then what about the dude Cesar? Cesar was ridiculously
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yep.
I was
Yep.
there, bro.
Fatal.
I was there. I seen it. I was really young. I got into the shit extremely young. I was there. I seen a lot of it.
Bro, yo, rest in peace, LC, man. BYE, that dude right there is such a big influence in hand style wise on a lot of Bushwick writers.
Mm-hmm.
BYE, buys, bro.
Definitely seen it.
Um, Bed-Stuy definitely Flavor too. Flavor had a lot of
Yo,
you know what I'm
like
saying?
let's not
Shit
forget you
running.
had Era, right? You had Ever back there crushing it, and then you had Ever. So you had a lot of
Of course.
people who were just like crushing it on a different style, different levels, but they were crushing it, bro.
I don't think ever gets enough props the way he should because that nigga is one of the
Yo, were
top
people
street
documenting shit
bombers,
back then? Like, not really. So no one's gonna know about him, bro.
bro. But he came back 3 or 4 times and destroyed
With
shit many times. He
Papo,
came back
yeah,
with
Papo
Dover.
got him out, right?
Yeah, him, Ever him era and ever the three amigos, that was an era. Then he had like the him and Dover era. Dover and Ever was killing shit, rest in peace. And then him and Chad was
That's
killing shit with Ever.
crazy,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying?
Che is crazy, bro. That was another thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Throw ups, I don't know, when you had like 1,000 people doing, what about like Spec and all those guys reinventing the whole throw out there? That was, yo, so this is it. I call myself like so passionate about this that back then, like every borough had a style, but within the boroughs and the neighborhoods had a style, you know? So there was like the Sunnyside style, Woodside style, the way the curves. Then there was the spiky letters, the Gotham letters, and Bushwick would look like Batman letters everywhere. So every neighborhood and style had, and I fucking loved it. And there was an era where I can see someone's tag and kind of tell what borough or neighborhood they came out of. And I remember when the out of towners started smashing, I was like, holy shit, like I can't register that one. Like that's some Virginia shit. That's some North Carolina. I don't know where in North Carolina, but that ain't no from Mississippi. So I was definitely studying letters and throwies. I was in love with that shit, bro. What about Cooey? I see Cooey in there.
That's a real
You see
black.
Cooey throwing
That's
those
a
fucking crazy throws back in the days that just went left to right with the heart shape. Like, the fuck is a little kid to do when he sees something like that? That shit burns an image in your brain, bro.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That shit drills. That's why I wonder. You see the way, like, I grew up and I fucking idolized Ka, and you know what I'm saying, Gumby, and you know, niggas like that. Show MSD, all the first niggas like from my hood and shit. You know what I mean? And then of course you see Easy and Jaws. You see TK. You see Bester. You see niggas like that everywhere too. So when I'm young, oh, of course, to uh what was them nigga? Oh, Dorf, this nigga from
I
Bushwick,
remember
Dorf,
that. Yeah.
DFO. Bro, that nigga has
Yo,
such a dope
yo,
throwy,
S, I
bro.
gotta ask though, man, because like I don't know what happened to you, bro, but you humbled out in a way where I didn't know you before this, but you humbled out where you're able to talk to like the ops, the opposition, the beef. Like you put down a lot of bad habits, I would say, that graffiti had probably put upon you, and you become such a human in the face of what you do. And people, I want to say shout out to ZB too, off subject. That dude's fucking crushing it. But you put a humbleness into what you do that now it's like not only do people respect you for your art and they fear you because they know that they can't step on, you know, like you're respected for the right reasons, but like at what point did you transfer over and was able to put all these things aside? Like, how did you, what did you go to a Himalaya mountain and see a wise man and he said, like, all these niggas is toys, fuck them? Like, what made you come down and just be able to put the sword down, bro? Because you were fucking people up, bro. Your crew fucked people up. You were not to be. There's so many, like, you look at everyone you have in this show. Most of these dudes either went to war with you or respected you, but they never didn't know who you were. So here you are, you know, you're giving these guys a platform. You're giving people like me a stage to come back on, and I'm like, how do you go from like top mafioso to fucking, you know, like, hey everybody, you got a powwow, circle up.
Nah, at the end of the day, bro, I realized I stopped being so personal with it because you know what I'm saying. I got humbled down. The next generation after us, you know,
What's
did
up,
better
bro?
than us, and the next generation after that. So you gotta admire that. So at the same time, when we was out there making our name, and people see us in a certain light because of the work we put in, the kids nowadays is running circles around the shit we
Woo, I
did.
know.
Like
So
a
is
nigga
it
comes
safe
out,
to
a
say
nigga
that it's
comes out.
crazier than the '90s though? Because I feel like it is.
No, I'm just saying that in the 90s, I just feel like it was
Oh
better
yeah.
writers. You know what I'm saying? That it was better writers because you had, you know, YKK, you had the whole MTAFTR going on their run. You had fucking, you know, you had a whole bunch of niggas that was dope. You know, the whole
But it
KGB,
was
Rhino,
kind of like,
Charles.
yo, S, for the little guys like me, not to cut you off, for the little slugs out there, it was like the WWF, and you guys weren't getting off the spotlight. Like, it was always the same 20 people. I see Roach in here, like, he's been doing it. Like, it was time to make more room for these guys. Shout out to STF. But it was time to make room for the rest of the thousand riders. And, like, yeah, it was the best era because it had like the NBA All Star lineup. You had Dennis Rodmans, you had Jordans, you had everybody. But if you look now, it's like the new NBA where you have all these new top players, and everyone's excited to watch it again. Like Anso and a lot of LNE guys, Bo and all of them. Like it's an exciting period to sit back and say, hey, we were once part of that. I told you
Yup.
my pace isn't these guys' pace, bro. I'll fucking die. These guys are crazy. The new generation do it differently, but
Yes.
it's something to look at and say, hey, like I'm proud to be like leave a little DNA for me left because I feel attached to that, man. Like I don't know if I inspired anyone. It wasn't the point. But like I hope someone remembers my shit, because it's totally different when it was back then. If they don't remember me, they won't remember you, us. And if they don't remember you, us, they won't remember someone like me. Why would they? So it's really important that like back then I looked at the history. The shit was more fun to look at the history and fall asleep thinking about the rules and the laws and everything and to just search for answers. And now it's like I don't know, the caps are all big, fucking it's not I'm not saying it's easier, I'm just saying it's not earlier. So what's very important is that you came from something so legit in a matter where in a era where it mattered, the 90s. And yeah, there were so many amazing riders, like you guys were the all-star, but there was another 500 NYC riders that's fucking ready to do it, bro. And let's not say like all city crew, right? There was a buff that I don't know which mayor did a buff, bro, and all the gates were painted. Graffiti kind of just took a halt. Like everything was like, whoa, you got up, you got Vandal Squad in your ass. And all city came out. All city crew came out. It was the Dro and those dudes fucking, and they crushed all 5 barrels, bro. And they went over freshly painted shit. They hit the rooftops. They had the BQE crush. They went all city. And no one was going all city at that time. Everybody chilled the fuck out. But they re-sparked graffiti in New York City single-handedly. And then like the evolution of that would be R2B crew shortly after, taking those same spots and evolutionizing them with ladders and all this other passion. All these guys fucking passionate. And I'm not saying they're the best or that this guy's the best, but I'm saying these kids were passionate in the era that they wrote, and it showed. So like you're part of all that shit, S, and it's very important that the people who look up stuff now, no matter how good they are, what they do, or where they think they got the city on. I don't give a fuck about the city, bro. You need to get up in like everywhere in New York. You literally do, like, and then you can go hit the city. And I swear, once you do that, you did a circle around the shit. But like, it's really important to hit everything else and know your history along the way. And I think people know that, but they take it for granted. Like, I'm not taking this for granted. Like, this is monumental that I get to speak on your platform. Your platform has all these. Look at these fucking kings watching this shit. I see comments from kings. You know what I mean? But you gave me the platform, and obviously people know who you are, and they're not going to forget. So you came out as this king of what you do, and now you're giving people a platform in your kingdom. And hats off to you, bro.
Appreciate that, my brother. But that's the same reason why I do this show, because literally when we're gone, if they don't hear all of these stories from people like you and everyone that I interview, when it's gone, it's gone. It's not gonna live on. So at least now it could be documented and they could hear them stories. You know what I mean? Because it's like I said, when I was coming up, I used to see Dorf, and I never got to meet Dorf. He passed away like in the early, the late 80s or something like that. You know what I mean? So if there was a Dorf interview, you could, at least hear the dude speak, you know what I'm saying, about what he's passionate about, graffiti. That's why rest in peace, Dover. Dover passed away. He did an interview on Graph Champs, and you could go and watch the man talk about his whole graffiti. This is why I do it. You know what I'm saying? So these things don't go to waste, bro. We need to hear the stories, the whole, you know what I'm saying, beginning to end for Plasma Slug and everyone that came on here. That's
Thank
just the most important. Keep
you,
that shit
thank you
going,
for
man.
putting all your feelings and ego aside and creating something like that. Because I bet you a bunch of other people would have liked to, but they weren't that big of a man.
Salute Ever. He's in the building. Salutes you, Ever. Yo, that's crazy, my brother, bro.
Bro, I
Yeah,
see a lot of
Slug.
good people in your shit right now, bro. Highly respected.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I personally think the '90s is the best era, just because that's what I think. I'm
So in the
biased and
90s,
shit,
I
but
was young, and then in the early 2000s, I was still young, but all I did was fight for this fucking tag, bro, that I was doing. I fought so much. I had so many fights, I knew how to fight. I was like, okay, shit. that's how I learned how to fight, by fighting every day. Somebody said, "Yo, you ragged my cousin. Yo, you ragged this person. You ragged that person." And they didn't want. They just wanted to fight you. So I learned that people wouldn't even be your friends unless they fought you first to know that you were about that. Um, a lot of that fighting died out as I got older and whatnot. But I haven't had any beef, bro, and I haven't had no beef of anyone serious that I would consider beef. I somehow got this cosign. I know people could rag me now, whatever. I don't care, man. But like my whole doing this, like I never got no war stories of going over someone back to back. It's because of it's like you don't like you went out there standing up for every single one of your soldiers, and I went out there like never turning my head back and just making sure I never did anyone dirty along the way. And fast forward, like there's some of my work out there that's been running way too long in areas that even the neighborhood people could just pick up a can and put a big dick over it or a squiggly line, and they don't even do that. So it's like I've met so many writers and just given them a genuine interaction hundreds of times that like there's no fucking I can't tell you a war story. I know you didn't ask for one and shit, but like it never got that exciting for me on my end. It was more just like give him the respect, so give me the respect. No respect, like there's plenty of other people to interact with if I'm gonna interact with anyone. And I've like with that kind of stuff I've gotten to meet some really genuine, passionate people in this sport.
That's the same thing with me, bro. At Graph, I met a lot of good people, and met a lot of dickheads. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said, if most of the time when you meet someone that you idolize, they're just straight the opposite of what you built them up to be in your head. You know what I mean? And when like you said earlier in the show, when they call you a toy, they're the first time someone called me a toy to my face. And so I have a can in my back pocket. I'm in Manhattan. I'm like 14, maybe 13,
Young S.
and yeah, young S and shit, and I bust out a tag, and some dude is like, "Oh shit, shorty, let me catch a tag." So I hand him the can, and the nigga looks at it, and he's like, "Oh, this is Krylon." He said this is Krylon water paint for toys, and the nigga gave me the can back. He didn't even catch the
Oh shit.
tag.
Oh
So
shit.
and I was just, oh shit, the nigga called me a toy straight to my face. He said it was water paint. I felt hurt. Nigga, I was like, oh shit. There was certain things, you know what I'm saying? Was there certain things for you like that people said, like when you was writing and shit that made you go hard? Like I remember one time my boy was like, man, I never even seen you. Oh, adult DFA. The nigga goes, man, I didn't even see no SR fillings on the four line
Okay.
ever. And you know what I'm saying? And then that same night, I went and I did like at least 20 fillings, and that shit came out in a MQ
Oh word.
magazine and shit, a sticker book. I rock like 20 fillings, my nigga, crazy. And literally the next time that I saw Dope, the nigga was like, nah, oh shit, I seen your shit, da 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 da. He gave me the love or whatever and shit. But was there ever certain times when somebody said something and you was like, what? And you went and got busy?
Um, I mean, every time that happens in anything I do in life, I do a lot of things, hobbies and passions that I'm not really good at, and I try to get good at things. So I'm really used to not being good at something. I think I search to be toy in other areas in life and then become great at it. Like you get so used to not being a toy because yeah, I'm still toy. Yeah, I get that part, but you get to just want to learn new things. Like, what is that? How does that work? And why does it work that way? So anytime I get hit with like, oh, it wasn't that good, my personality is quick to just be like, you're probably right, and I'm gonna get better regardless. Like while you're talking, I'll be out tonight doing this anyway. Going back to before, some crazy shit. I was thinking about a story while you're talking. In the 2090s, the Bloods were doing a lot of initiations, and like I would run to school and run back because I like to train for graffiti in junior high school. I would run to school, run back home, and I wouldn't get tired. Like that was how I just practiced to run away from cops and shit. But I remember Halloween was like, yo, you can get like there was kids getting sliced left and right the day before. So going to school that day was like, who's gonna get sliced today? I didn't get sliced, bro. But I went to go to a rave in Manhattan, and I was spray painting inside the train, hitting the windows and whatnot. and it was no one on the cars. It was late night. It was still Halloween, and some fucking crazy gangster looking dude is walking down the train. You see him in the window, like coming down the cars. And I'm like, this dude is looking for trouble, bro. And he comes into the car and he has his knife. He's like picking his tooth and shit, and he's all like bandanaed up. He looked like he got his own slice on his face. So I'm ready to like rock this dude, bro. But not like on some gangster shit, but on some like, holy shit, like this is when you have to like stand up for yourself. As he's walking towards me, he's looking at all the graffiti on the windows. And he's like looking at me, walking real slow, bro. And I'm on the end of the train. And it's like fucking Captain Hook walking to you, you know? And then he's like, what's this shit? And my first instinct was like, get ready to duck, move, do something. Like he's talking to me now, you know, like it's on. You know, when they start asking you, yo, what's up? Yo, can I use that? Like just talking to you, you're already signed up for the devil. And my first instinct was like, yo, that's my cousin who died. Like his shit was everywhere. They fucking killed him, bro. I'm out tonight to spread his name all over the place. And he like took his knife. He was like this, looking at me like up and down, looking at me like, should I slice this motherfucker, bro? He sliced somebody that night, bro. Like that was his main objective, just cut somebody, and it wasn't me, bro. He shook his head. He was like, all right, keep it real or something. And I got out the train, bro. I fucking dipped. I was like, whoa. That shit went crazy, but it was the graffiti that saved me that day. You know, like I would have just been a victim. I would have fought back, but like that dude would have got me. I would have loved to say like, yeah, it wasn't going down like that, but he was a hunter, bro. And I was praying that shit. I thought I was tough, but I wasn't on that tough level. He came in there ready, and I sprayed my shit. So that the graffiti will keep you. You don't know why you do things sometimes, but when you get tested, when you have to go to jail and you have to like come out and you want to do it again, those are the real tests to make you know, like, hey, I love doing this shit. So that's what kept me going is these things I didn't like. It wasn't like, oh, I got an amazing spot, SR, like I did an amazing fill-in all night. It was like, yo, I almost died, bro. This shit worth it? And like, it's still worth it apparently, bro. My wife is a demon, S. You know, most of these wives, they'd be like, yo, don't do it, stay out of trouble. Like, she supports me, bro. She's like, go, get it. Rock that shit, bro. Like, be safe out there, you know? So it's crazy the amount of support I have nowadays. Where back then I was hiding that shit as best as I could. Nowadays, like, if I say, hey, I'm feeling like I need to do this, like, the support is there.
That's fire, man. I wish wifey understood. Like, you know, if I tell her, yo, I'm gonna go hit a spot, like you're not gonna say nothing, but she gonna be tight. You know what I mean?
But she
Or
knows you're in
whatever.
the good hands, right? That's the difference in 2020 something. Like, she knows you're when you go out, you're doing it with the idea that you have to get back home to your family. And and if you're leaving with someone she knows that they feel the same way, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how. That's why she's letting you do it because no one in their right mind is gonna let someone just go out time after time because probability awaits. Probability will get it. It's not like how good you are. How many times can you touch a wall before someone sees you? Is beyond. Is not. It's not up to you. It's beyond your hands. You know what I'm saying?
So so like maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. I'm chilling. It's Saturday. It's Saturday, bro. It's like literally like 12:30, almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's sleeping. My kids, my wife, and I get a phone call from Dessa. That nigga's like, yo, I'm with Catch. We going to bomb Utica Ave. What's up? You want to go? We in the corner of your block right now. So I
Yo,
snuck
Catch, you need
out.
to make more drum and bass music, bro.
Yo, I snuck out and I went bombing with them all night. I came back like 7 in the morning. The sun was up. I had paint all over me, and wifey was in the window waiting and shit. And it was, you know what I'm saying? It was a problem. But yo, we smashed it the whole entire night. But the moral of the story is like, you know, I snuck out. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have, what I'm gonna do? Wake wifey up and be like, yo, I'm about to go hit a spot. It's gonna be even worse.
Yo,
You know
I
what I'm
see
saying?
people like Bill in your chat, and like Bill's able to like stay up like a vampire, you know? And someone like you have a habit, but at this age, it's fucking hard to vampire life it. It's really hard for me to wake up at 2, 3 in the morning and get as much as I want, and that's why I always give hats off to the people who are doing that shit, because I just find the right time and place to do what I do. you know. So those times fit in my schedule where other writers, like, they're able to do this nightlife like no other. You know, I don't know how they perform during the day, what they're doing, but at night they're superstars, bro.
What about
Free scant,
merch?
bro.
Are you
Free
pushing
scant.
anything now?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you pushing any merch or anything right now?
The cycle is not there. Like, you know how I told you there was a cycle? Like, I'm not on that cycle right now. That's kind of, that tends to happen, I guess, eventually. I go back into the art. On the Instagram level, it's funny because it's a platform we're using. I'm glad we have 30 fucking people still listening, bro. Shout out. So people like entertainment. This app is strictly entertainment. No one comes on Instagram like, yo, I need to dump some of my hard-earned money on shit, or I need to go. They want to just be entertained. We want to laugh. We want to be upset. I feel like when my Instagram was thriving a lot, when I was doing new ideas and creative stuff, and just being the first to do that, the first to do this, to make sure everything was so fucking important to do something important. You know, and I realized, like, I want to just do art. I love the art. I fucking love this shit, you know, and I'm doing the art, and that evolved into like, hey, I just want to do art. And then that was it. Like, the engagement started to stop. Instagram started to be fuckery on its own with algorithms and all that. So what really sells stuff on Instagram is the numbers. It's never really the specific item that's selling. It's just how many people are following you. You get 200 people following you, then you have like 10 people watching you and 5 people liking it and one person commenting it. Like, so you need like 600 to have all that with one person buying it. You know, so it was a numbers game. And all my art sold. I told you, how many pieces do you think I did earlier? And let's just say it's 10 or 2,000. I don't own nothing, bro. All my art, everything I've ever done is with someone, wherever it is. I don't know what, I don't care. But it's fucking out there, bro. You know, so Instagram allowed me to get my art out there. I wanted to be up in someone's living room. I wanted to be up in someone's pocket on their keychain. I really wanted to expand it. But chasing merch and chasing, hey, when is the hat's going to be embroidered? And they're like, oh, not yet. And everyone wants to buy it. How about this for you, S? I was the kind of person that I would make the ball. And someone would say, yo, that baseball plasma slug is fire, bro. You need to make a plasma slug bat. I'm like, word, word, I'll make the plasma slug bat. So I made the bat, and now they're like, yo, the ball and the bat is great, bro. They didn't buy it yet, but the shit is great, they're saying. You know what I should do next? I should make the glove. You should make the glove, yo. So it was just chasing like what people would want, all the while like what they would really get wasn't that. So I'm at the point now where like merch and not. How about this? This is how I see it. Rest in peace, Ribbity. Um, when he was around and his art, like his art was his art, you know, and he put out his quality of art the way he saw fit, and people had the chance to buy it, and they didn't buy it, bro, like that I know of, as much as they should have, right? And when he passed away, everybody didn't care about like how the piece would look. They just wanted to own something from that person, you know, like let that sink in. So it didn't matter what background theme, how good the wild style, what kind of arrows he did. They really just wanted to like own something of that person's work. And I saw that recently happen, and we know this happens. It's just the way shit goes. But I really look back at my art, and I said, like, I've been working hard and doing a lot of art pieces, and sometimes the style will go up and down. And I try to do something really art, really grimy, really this, really that. But look, like, if I fucking die, it doesn't matter like what I did. Like, you're probably gonna just want to be like, yo, this sticker, bro, this plasma slug sticker is dope. Oh, I got a plasma pin. And they probably got it with a cool interaction too. You know what I mean? So my art, my merch and all that, it's taken a big dive in the response of like, hey, I'm not out there selling it anymore. I just feel like if you want something from me, just get it when I drop it, how I drop it. Because I'm not in the art stage again. Like, I don't have time. I have kids. They don't allow me to do that shit, bro. So when I do something, that's my merch, bro. That's like if I died next week and you're like, holy shit, like that dude, I'm glad I bought that tissue for $75. Like, I get it now. I get why someone would buy tissue, because you know, like that's the only tissue I put out. You know, it is worth $75. Like, if someone resells it on the street, they add a value to your art. They add a value to your work. If someone you like, oh, yo, they stole my sticker and it's on eBay now for X amount of money, the fucking dickheads. It's like they are who determines your money, like how much your shit is worth, bro. Like the streets determine it. You're only worth as much someone's willing to buy. You know what I mean? So like you gotta take all those things into equation, and here I am like selling my soul. You know, I used to do these art shows, and they would all sell out. Every single art show I ever did, I sold out almost. Not almost. I sold out of everything in those pieces. Mind you, I wasn't putting crazy prices, but the shits would sell out. There was a place for these pieces to go. But that was an error, and you got a piece of that error. So like merch, man, like nah, no merch, bro. Like you better grab something if that's what you're trying to do. Just off the fact of getting something I'm leaving behind now. Don't wait for me to do a dope piece. Don't wait for me to do the colors you like. I'm not doing none of that shit, bro. Like I let everyone else do merch, bro. I don't remember people doing merch when I was doing shit. That shit was crazy. No one was doing merch like that. You know, they make fun of you if you did merch. It's fucking sellout. You can't go painting and then have a pin to sell and you have a show and postcards and like you needed to do something first. Look at that. Neil's in Colombia. You know what I mean? Like he's doing a script. If he wants to go sell pins and do merch, better grab something because that man left something behind, not because the piece looked dope or the colors were good. Like start grabbing shit from people because you can. You see my art collection, us? Because I respected a lot of artists and I wanted to put money in their pockets. And a lot of these artists would give me shit half-assed because I'm fucking this person and you just get a fill-in. All right, this fill-in is held up against this dude who was like, yo, Plasma wants something. I'm going to do something real dope. So here's your little fill-in and here's something really dope. And you know what? I appreciate both of those shits, bro, because they left them shits behind for me. You know, so my art collection is based not on the dopest looking pieces, not the dopest colors, but I have so much DNA on canvases from artists of our time, you know. But life goes on, bro. Like, and it's not something I'm thinking about all the time. It's not something I'm basing. I made an online shop called Aerosol Flow, like aerosol. So it's called Aerosol Flow, and I put up a lot of my collection pieces there. You know, so like art isn't. It's not that permanent for me. If anything, I would like to sell a lot of my work and other people's works to help invest into my new passions and my new art and shit. You know, I don't see it like oh, I collect shit for art because I like it or I collect it to sell it. It's like someone left something behind for me. I got it. Keep it moving. Put it in someone else's hands. No mercy.
Yo, so 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 what about the graph writers right now? What would you tell them right now if they asked you for advice? What would be the main piece of advice would you give a new
Yo,
not
none of the
writer?
graph writers are ever going to ask me for advice, SR. None of these niggas is ever going to ask me for no advice, bro. But if they did ask me for advice, I would tell. Are we talking about the new era? The new
I'm talking
era writer?
about the new, yeah, the new nigga coming out trying to make a name
Get
for
some
himself. Yep.
good fucking running shoes because this marathon is long, bro, and you don't really get to an end in good shape. So at least while you're doing it, your feet don't hurt. You know, AKA read some books, put some padding on your ass, bro. Learn some laws. Learn why you do this. Why do you want to really ruin your life for? You know, pick a tag that you're willing to ruin your life for. Don't tell me you're fucking killing it because they never got arrested and shit. You never had fights. You never had someone find out where you live. Someone find out what car you drive. Find out where your girl works. Don't tell them like you didn't graffiti yet, bro. You didn't do it correctly. I don't think. Like I think all those elements are like baby steps to getting into graffiti. Like they sounded pretty bad and annoying, but that's like, hey, welcome, like welcome online. Like now we're recognizing you. We're gonna give you grief. So these new riders have to understand that like you can get up broad daylight and you can do all that, but if it's gonna alter you from getting up years later because you made your shit hot or they know who you are, then it's not the quick fast way to fame is the quickest way out this race. And you know, and if you read enough stuff and you watch it and you live it, you'll learn that like as a new graffiti writer, you're gonna suck so bad that maybe your first run should be like half a run in the streets, and then the other half should be in a black book, and then you come back out and you really hit it again, and then take a break and come redefine your letters and redefine why you're doing this, because at that point you ruin your life a couple times, and just redefine why you're about to ruin your life and make the bad your storefront worth losing your life for. Because can you name any successful writers? Like, it doesn't exist. So as a new graffiti writer, I would just tell you, like, it's a really long, really rugged. You can't trust anyone. A lot of fake people. It's like most communities, but like this one gets really real because you rely on people. So every time you go out with someone, you're putting your life on their hands and you're trusting each other. It's fucking intense, bro. So as a new graffiti writer, like who you have around you to run this race is a joke because when you're really doing this shit correctly, you might not even have them near you. So like if you didn't get to that point, you also didn't get into graffiti fully. So like my advice to shorten all that is like just don't do it. Like it's not that it's not worth it. It's that just don't think you have it in you because you're a fucking toy. You know, so like someone might hear that S and be like, "Fuck you," and it's like, there you go. Like that's the spirit. That's what I'm trying to get out of you. Like you are a toy. You know, once you realize that you can get better, once you realize that like you have a longer way to go, you can make smarter decisions, bro. So just being a toy as an early rider, it's like either don't do it or get ready to fucking do it. You know, I don't know how it is nowadays in junior high school and high school doing it, but I know a lot of people are 30, 40 years old doing it, and they're ready to like kick your ass. They're ready to put you to work, and you know if you're new, it's up to you to show them like I'm worth your time because this is all about people's time, and a lot of people put all their life into it. So for you to give someone a time of day to even look at this shit, like I hope they're doing something really good and passionate that I can see it off of them. And that's a lot to ask, just right to right, you know? But I hope that you can see it off a new guy and you say, hey, I don't care that he's whack, but like the passion behind him, if I'm as good as I think I am, I can help that guy. I can show him how to fix it up. That's that's the advice is not so much what they can do, but like what we can do for them.
That's peace right there, my nigga. You broke it down crazy because when I was young, it wasn't like there wasn't a lot of niggas like trying to help. I mean, so like niggas come up to me all the time, young niggas, oh shit, can you sign my book? Give me a sticker, da da da, whatever. And I try to be cool with each one of them. You know what I'm saying? Give them, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But back then, when I was coming up, and there was none of that, bro. You had to prove yourself. It was hard. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Soul TNS in the building too.
What's yeah.
Yeah, bro. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. But so is there anything else that you want to talk about? Anything else like specifically that you want to say to the Graph Champs audience before we start getting off this?
Um I say real quick before we do any of that shit, let's get a winner because you have 40 people here and they're interested. Somebody's got to win some shit. So why don't you pick a number between 1 and 35 and you pick it, don't say it, right? And when you say go, people can write their number and the first person you find with it will win this bottle of Summer Squash Ink.
Summer Squash Inc. A number of between 1 and 35 right now. Whoever gets the number right now in the comments, start writing numbers. You're gonna win. You're
You
gonna win some
could fill up
Summer
you
Squash.
could fill up like 3 mops with this shit. Rest in peace, Tech.
Word, rest in peace, Tech. Word.
Yo, Bill, I see you, bro. Definitely one of the first Bushwick fucking characters to really crush it, bro. Then came back. Anyone near
Doing
it?
numbers.
Anyone near it? Us? Or they just guessing for nothing, man?
Nah. Oh, Roach just got it. 15.
Okay.
Son.
All right. So Roach got it. That's gonna be easy. I can find him on the gram. Roach, I will be hitting you up. Congratulations. So going back to the number was what, 15?
15.
Okay,
Yep. Roach.
congratulations. So going back to like what I would leave off at, I guess you would say is you never know where you're gonna end up or what's ahead of you. So it's really important that every little tag matters. Everything you do, it means something. It's more important for you to do things for reasons than for someone to see your shit or because someone needs their shit taken out. Like, this is all you got. This is all you're leaving behind. And they're not going to remember you. They won't remember me. They won't remember us. Like, it's not about that. And as much as you think that it is, it's why you're not really up the way you should be up. You're chasing this hamster wheel, bro. And it's going like that. And they don't even see it. And there's just so much more to this shit. So a lot of these guys are traveling and fucking tagging up all over, like, you know, like do other things in life and mix that shit with it. You know, like I respect these guys taking it way beyond our streets. You know, when you travel, even if you're not writing graffiti, you go to another culture, you come back and you bring something with you, a new respect, a new love for something. And a lot of these graph writers are going to other cities and checking out Detroit and learning like, oh, so we can get away with it like this if we do that, and then going to like Louisiana and saying, hey, if we do it like that, we can add this, and then taking some highlights, and they're getting so rich in cultural graffiti, and then they come back to New York and they have a whole new set of skill sets. So you got to travel, you got to leave your mark in places where you didn't think you were going to. You said you were going down that avenue, go the other way. Like, do what you do comfortably, but do it for another reason, because we're probably all doing it for the wrong reason, because we're not woke enough to realize that, like, how much ruining our lives this shit can do. So while we're ruining it, we have to find a balance and really time together, because, like I said, no one's going to remember you, but you'll remember what you did until you don't. And everything you remember that you did should be fucking top tier. And it doesn't need to be good, but it just needs to have passion in it, and that turns everything top tier, you know. And that's just on my level of doing things. It's important, man. It's really important getting up. It's really important leaving your mark behind, because you don't never know when your last one is. You never know when the last tag you got with your friend is. It sounds all like, oh, you never know, but like, you fucking don't know, bro. And you're spoiled to think that this shit's gonna be the way it is today, tomorrow. It's not, you know. Like, we're evolving so fast in graffiti that what you leave behind today isn't important tomorrow. Like, there's too much graffiti, it's oversaturated. So make sure these memories are what you want them to be. Make sure those tags mean something to you more than they ever did. Those spots you never hit, go hit them and shit, bro. You know, that's from me to everybody out there. But, you know, most importantly, take care of your life, man. Don't be a fucking loser, bro. I'm serious. Just don't be a loser. Like, a loser to me is just someone who's willing to put this shit in front of their family and loved ones, because those are the only people who are really gonna have your back. And if you don't have those people and you're willing to like sink your ship, just don't take any of your friends down with you, bro.
Yo, bro, that was perfect right there. The way you articulated what the message that you
I
wanted to
was
get out,
nervous
that
to
shit was
come on
perfect.
here, S. I was nervous, bro. You know, you like I said, your pond of fish that are in the thing are like the real deal, man. This isn't 100 people and 90 of them don't write, and they're like, these motherfuckers do this shit, and they're listening. You know, so thank you, man. I knew I was gonna be talking to the top people and the shit down the line. They might listen, and most people, like I said, they don't really want to respect the Plasma Slug. The way you felt that time, where you shifted over and said like, "Oh, I fucks with this." Some people never did that. Some people would swear they never seen it, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Fine. It's fine with me, at least.
Yo, my bro, like I'm so happy that you came on and told your story. You know what I'm saying? Even in the comments, they were spewing, "Yo, this is what we need." Blah blah blah. It was a crazy dope interview, bro. So you didn't overthink it or nothing. You just spoke from the heart, and it's gonna come across. Wait till you see, like the feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like you
That's
spoke very
true. I
honestly and
put energy
openly,
out there, right? And
and
energy comes back.
that's fact. That's a fact. So you're gonna get the feedback from the interview, bro. You was very fucking open and honest, bro, and the energy was crazy, bro. Yo, Slugs, we love you, my brother. We salute everything you do, from killing streets to doing top to bottom, back to back slugs on some art shit, to your merch, to selling your pins, whatever it is that you're doing at the time. When you get into that mode, we salute and support everything you do, bro. Thank you for coming on Graph Champs. I don't know if you got any shout outs that you wanted to
So,
say at the end.
so yeah. Thanks 1,000 fucking times, man. Everything I do it for the reasons why I feel like it means something to me. So you giving me a cosign on that? Thank you, bro. Um, my new shit right now is No Cars Go. I'm running that right now. That's my crew. I'm too old to be having a crew. Too old to be putting down dudes. You don't need to do 10 fill-in, fight 6 people, throw up a bunch of different labels. My crew is in the sense of, if I was to go tomorrow, I don't want it to just be like, yo, I knew him. I want them to be like, I knew him, and he also threw me down with something that meant something to him. So my crew is that right now. It's like, it's my new ship to get on top of and say, hey, I'm here with this shit. So my new crew is no cars go. It represents hitting up spots where, like, not many people go and see. They might be able to see it from a car, but you can't go there, theoretically. But I'm old, but I'm like, hey, this is my next chapter. I know for a fact that just when you think it's over, if you really do this shit, it comes back again. So the shit came back again, and I got a crew right now, bro. So that's my shit, and that's my new thing. And I'm taking care of my family. My family's good. Everybody met my family when they were like on the way up. Everyone's seen my son grow up. He's really good right now. My family is really good, bro. So everything I'm doing right now, I got the best crew behind me on that end. And on a knucklehead way, I'm starting my little shit up again. So
It's fire, bro. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? When I see niggas like you know what I'm saying, doing your thing, it's like me doing my thing because I want to see my niggas win
I see
always. You know what I'm saying?
that.
Just
It's very
anytime
evident.
I
It's
see.
very evident that you want to see the best for people, bro. I'm really good at reading people, I'm fucking great at it. That's why if you don't like me and we met, I already knew it. You know what I mean? But like, you're legit, and you can't pull a card up on SR. You can't pull any. There's nothing you can try to drag him under. And I think you're one of the top people right now that are out there with the real story. I know there's other podcasts and they got some big heavy hitters and shit, but just one scroll through your thing, and it's like all these people on your shit wouldn't even agree to do anything on those other people's podcasts. Like, they wouldn't be. You got motherfuckers showing their face, bro, that I'm like, I don't even want to know what he looks like. Keep that dude a mystery legend for me. But they feel comfortable on your shit, bro. And no one's taking their face off a lot of other scenarios. So like, you're that dude, bro. Thank you for doing what you do. I look forward to see what you're doing in the future. And I know you got a family. I hope they're good. Shout out to all the crews out there that fucked with me, bro. If I said the whole list, I'm gonna forget some of y'all, but I'm in a lot of fucking crews, bro. This shit's crazy. So many crews, I don't want to be down with no crews, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I love you guys. Thank you so much. You know who the fuck you are. You guys threw me down with that shit. Call me, check up on a nigga. Oh, I ain't pushing your shit, bro. Yo, much love, bro. Take care, okay?
Salutes of Slug, definitely, man. I'ma holler at you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta X yourself out at the top. Yo, man, this is Graph Champs, motherfucking episode what 5 and shit. Season 4. You know what I'm saying? That was Plasma Slug. You already know the ill crazy fucking interview. That boy was talking that truth right there. Yo, where's my Straight 16 family? Y'all on? Let's talk about the rapping tomorrow. Straight 16, what's up? We gotta talk about the block party, son. Uncle Murder, Tony Yayo. Where is the Straight 16? We gotta talk about it. I sent you an invite. Straight 16, what's up? Jump on, yo, Straight 16. We on the motherfucking in front of Emerald Dispensary, you know what I'm saying? On Saddam Street in Bushwick tomorrow, the block party, opening up for Uncle Murder and motherfucking Tony Yayo, Straight 16 family, Spec Arson, Dios Diablo, you know what I'm saying? Expo One, Addy, you know what I'm saying? SR the General, you know what I'm saying? We rep it. Yo, where you at? Straight 16. You want to come on? We got to talk about this. Straight 16. Let me see if Ren is Ren there. Word, come on, yo. Let's talk. Let's talk about this event tomorrow. Where you at? Don't let the followers. Don't let the followers go down. Where you at? Jump on. Oh, I see. Wait, hold on. No. Where you at, Straight 16? Straight 16. Oh, I sent you the invite. Damn, I don't think. Yo, that was motherfucking Graph Champs, Plasma Slug, yo. Yo, peace. Salute to everybody in that came and supported. Yo, salute to motherfucking Soul TNS. Salute to motherfucking the All World Kings, fucking Neo. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Scant. Salute to motherfucking Par. Salute to all the writers that was in there. To Issei, Roach. You know what I'm saying? So many salute to motherfucking Viral Monarch, you know what I'm saying? There was so many writers in there. Ever, salute to my nigga Ever. There was so many dope writers. I just forget all of them because you know it was going by so fast. Salute to my nigga Phasm 4, you heard? Salute to my nigga OD, salute to GRC, salute to yo, there was so many writers in the comments. Salute to Gouch, you know what I'm saying? Salute to the whole GAT crew. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. That was motherfucking Graph Champs. I'm your host, SR, the vertical, murtical, squirtical all over your girls' Liz Nips. I left my kids on the eyelids. I'll see you on the next.